Yo, what's good, y'all? This is the Triple Crime Podcast, and this is the Kendrick Lamar album review of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Of course, this is Vinny and my man Rush. Man, let's get this started, man.
For sure, man. This Kendrick Lamar's seventh studio album is something we've been waiting for a long time, man. If we count all the compilation albums and the Black Panther album, this will be the seventh. But yeah, we've been waiting on Kendrick for a while. His last album was Damn, and that released and it won a Grammy, man. Best album and then best rap album. So it being critically acclaimed, man, it put Kendrick on a special little pedestal, man. So we were all eager to see, especially during 2020 and 2021, to see when Kendrick was going to release because a lot of people were dropping albums and Kendrick was the odd man out. But he finally came out. I know you and I had talked during some previous episodes when we were talking about the Super Bowl, and we were saying that with him actually um, performing at the Super Bowl, then that's a good inclination to believe that he's going to release an album this year. So it finally came, man. I think earlier last week is when it was announced, and well, not earlier last week, about 2 weeks ago is when it was announced, and then the Heart Part Five dropped on May 5th, May 8th, and then he finally released the album on the 13th. Man.
Yes, sir, man. You speak about that Hard Part 5, man. How you like it, bro? It was a lot of deep in there, man. I ain't gonna hold you. How you like it?
For sure, it was a nice way to start off the hype. It was perfect. pgLang and Kendrick did a great job uh, combining that and really mastering that art because at that the video form of the song is like the expression of it is art at its truest form. The song was good for sure, but I think the video took the song to another height. Pretty much having all of the faces that he used to really depict how he wanted the emotion to come across. Kendrick in the video, like the camera was a little offset from him, and then he was just looking sad, and it was really like a feeling, like an emotional song. And then during periods of the song, he had certain bars lining up with the faces that he was using. For one, he was talking about ego and all of that, and he pulled up Kanye. And then towards the end, having that moment for Nipsey Hussle when he was expressing that he was happy where he was at, and he hated to leave, but God called him back, and that he forgave the shooter, but he's still being judged. So there was a lot of good content within those songs, and then the sample of Marvin Gaye, bro. Like if anybody's gonna sample Marvin Gaye, it's gonna be Kendrick, bro, because Kendrick killed that.
He
They
did.
they killed that. That sample was beautiful. But yeah, I love the Heart Part Five. How about you, man?
Man, definitely, man. I'm not gonna repeat what you said. Same synopsis of the whole song, man. That's why I kind of also feel like he led into this album as well, too, though. As you said, off camera, the vibe of the first song of the album. But I'll speak on that a little bit later. But honestly, bro, I know a lot of people been thinking, where's Kendrick been at? He haven't dropped nothing since 2017, man. Where you at? What's up? Me personally, real quick, man. I knew personally he was going to go to disappear for a little minute, man. He dropped something in 2017. He dropped something in 2018, the Black Panther album, for the whole movie. So when I believe he was going to drop something in 2020, but then next thing you know, the pandemic happened, so that affected everything touring wise, and that's where artists really make mainly their money from. But then off that, you had the Black Lives Matter movement, the passing of Kobe Bryant, Nipsey Hussle, and George Floyd, and all Breonna Taylor, everything that happened during that time frame as well. And I feel like people was looking for Kendrick, for something to be his savior, to be their savior, to do something to help revolutionize the movement at that time frame. But as in the album, he spoke on it. He is not your savior. These other people out here are not your savior. So he took a step back and let the world handle itself because That's how you shouldn't be up. That's how things should be. But he dropped something in 2020. I'm loving it so far. I like it, man. I fucking love it.
But yeah, man, you talked to it a little bit too. Just him really taking his time from the project and well to make the project, and then this being his last album contractually with TDE and Top Dog. So we'll see what he end up doing in the future. But this was a great timing on the project, and it was well needed, man. We needed to hear something from Kendrick and the aftermath of everything that transpired within the last 3 years. So it's great to hear from him.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Whew. But in this track list for this album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, dive into it. The first song on the album. This first it's a two-part album, let me say. You got the first part being 9 tracks and the second part being 9 tracks as well. The first part is considered to be the Big Steppers, and this is a track list for it. United in Grief, number 1. Number 2 being N95. 3, Worldwide Steppers. 4, Die Hard. 5, Father Time. 6, Rich, the Interlude. 7, Rich Spirit. 8, We Cry Together. 9, Purple Hearts. Um, and that's that first one. The second one, we consider that being Mr. Morale. And the first one off that one is Count Me Out. Number 2, The Crown. 3, Silent Hill. 4, Savior Interlude. 5, Savior. 6, Auntie Diaries. 7, Mr. Morale. 8, Mother I Sober. And 9, Mirror. Man, whew, looking at that track list, bro, how you feel about it, man?
I felt a little conflicted. When I first saw the track list, I was like, "Well, this should be interesting, right?" Because I downloaded it on Apple Music, so I actually had the track separated as if it was a two-part album. So I was like, "Okay, let's see." First thing I was like, "All right, what's Kendrick gonna do sonically here, right?" So what type of album is this gonna be? And then I saw Kodak Black on here, which was like, that's a surprise, when you think of Kendrick, that the one thing I appreciate about Kendrick is you always get like a surprise on his album. Like on he's been able to pull artists around from different sounds, different genres of music, and different, just different lanes in hip hop, and be able to combine them on his album, and it sounds good. So seeing this, I was like, okay, Kodak's on here. I wouldn't expect that, but let's see how this works out. I was intrigued to see Ghostface because that's somebody, Wu Tang. That's somebody I haven't heard from in a while, and I'm a fan of.
Ghostface Killer.
You know what I'm saying? And that's going towards the second part of the Mr. Morale. There was a lot of artists that I didn't know, so I was like, okay, let's see what he ended up doing here. But yeah, as far as tracks go, I didn't really. It wasn't anything that really caught my attention to where, oh, I gotta listen to this one first. But I was just like, okay, let's kind of see what it sounds like, and where to go from here.
Okay, so let's divide this up a little bit because this is an 18-track album, 2 parts. So let's start with the Big Steppers, man. What was your top 3 tracks?
So top three and big steppers for me was Purple Hearts, Worldwide Steppers, and then Father Time. Um, I love Purple Hearts. I mean, it's hard to do a top three from this because I really think the Big Steppers portion of this album was better than Mr. Morale sonically, right? The songs and the Big Steppers just kind of had like a better. It wasn't as personalized and didn't dive as deep, even though you had your deep depths within the album. It didn't sound like it was going super deep, and it was really slow. These had like faster beats or beats that you can bob your head to. So yeah, that's what I would say. And I was surprised to hear Kendrick and Worldwide Steppers, man, say he was hitting on white women, man. That's crazy. He said his ancestors ain't was watching him do it, man. It was kind of crazy hearing that from Kendrick. Um, we Cried Together was a good song, but Father Time, man, like why it was being one of my favorite tracks was just because he actually flipped it. So many times within our culture, we always talk about women having daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? But Kendrick actually flipped it, and he talked about the effects of having a father that's insensitive or not having a father in your life. And the way he put that in the words, man, niggas having daddy issues, bro. I was like, I feel that, bro, because that affects us as men, and it also affects how we act in relationships. And I think that We Cry Together after that father time was perfect because it showed you how these daddy issues can affect how you treat a woman in a relationship. So it was perfect. And then hearing Summer Walker on Purple Hearts, man, I was like, okay, Summer killing this, bro. It was a great song. I liked all of them. What about yourself, bro?
Oh man, you hit on some key points, man. Yes sir, man. My top three, man. Whew, there was a lot to dive into with this one too, man. Like you did say real quick about the Big Steppers, man. This was like the upbeat portion of the album. You could definitely tune into Bob Your Head too, man. My top three real quick, I say I like United in Grief. Um okay, I'll tell you this real quick, y'all. I like the whole part. All right. It's hard to pick three, man. Cause I like United in Grief. And 95 to follow that because I feel like in United in Grief, he switched up the flow and the beat twice throughout that whole song. And he also touched on where he been at over the past 5 years, opening up the song, saying that uh, I've been going through things over the past 1,855 days. That's equivalent to 5 years. And that's the last time we heard from Kendrick. So he dived into that. He also said he had writer's block as well too, and he just went into more different things of the song. But then he followed up with N95. You out of pocket, man. You out of pocket. And he just talked about the world in general, man, and stop looking at what society is of you having this and you having that. Just be who you are and just live life, man. It's not about all these important things that's everybody think that's what's important. Um, but then, like you said, worldwide steppers, man, he did his thing on that, bro. One key lyric that I found on that song was he was talking about the man upstairs playing with baby shark with his daughter, but at the same time he's watching out for the sharks outside as well too. I just feel like that was a nice wordplay, man. But something that I realized he started finding his way to God, bro. Over this last 5 years, man. He's been lost. He's been traumatized. Um, and I feel like this whole album in general is a therapy session, and he's putting it out there. And he let people know his theories and everything through the first three tracks, and then when he went to Die Hard, that's when him start reconnecting with God, and then boom, that's where the therapy session starts with Die Hard, and then like you said, Father Time, and then We Cry Together. I feel like those were like therapy sessions, and the next album he jumped into a breakthrough. I'll speak on that in a second, but overall, man, great, bro. And Kodak Black, bro, the last person I expected to ever be on a Kendrick Lamar album. The last person. But his sound was so key to the album. He was such an important person on this album, bro, to make the album even go higher than what it is, man. His Kodak Black interludes was great, man. Um, so like I said, man, overall, bro, Kendrick did his thing, man. He did his thing, man.
For sure, bro. I think you really hit it on the nose when you said it was a therapy session. I mean, he said in the song like, "Yo, I'm going to therapy now," and he said I can debate my theories and sharing it. and the things that he was opening up about it. Like you said, it sounded like a therapy session. So this first part of the album, I really enjoyed. Like I said, I ended up enjoying the Big Steppers more than I did Mr. Morale.
Mhm.
Even though I can appreciate both, but I mean, it was just filled with good music in those first 9 tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, all the sampling, all the producing, bro, A plus plus, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. A plus plus, man. That's 8 first 9 tracks, don't skip, y'all. Please don't skip.
Yeah, for sure. And then he was going deeper into like what wealth is too, saying he bought
Yes.
infinity pools but never swam in it. He got a Rolex but only wore it once. I mean, he was. I think this album, if you were looking for punchlines, it's not that album from Kendrick,
It's not.
but there are gems and nuggets that you can just pull from for daily life, like things that you may feel that are important in life. He's pretty much telling you like, yo, that's not important, man. Rolex is not important. That infinity pool is important. Maybe Keem bought 4 cars in 4 months. Like, I watched him do that, but I did the same thing. So how can I say, like, it's just so many nuggets that you
Yeah.
could pull from in this album, man, that may not be like punchline, like, oh yo, that's terrific wordplay by Kendrick, but the way he kind of phrased it was just like, all right, I could take this and use this and apply it to my own life.
Yeah, man. And one thing he did say, we gotta touch on it a little bit, when he in Daddy Issue or Father Time, you talk about his daddy issues and everything. He did touch on Kanye and Drake. Drake got back with Drake. I was slightly confused. Guess I'm not I guess I'm not mature as I think. Got some healing to do. I'm like, does he still got that beef toward Drake a little bit? I think he does, bro, because he speaks on that. I feel like he speaks on that in the next album or the next part, but not mentioning him. But yeah, yeah. But also one thing too, I feel like with a lot of these artists out here, man, they're finding their way to God. Me personally, I feel like it's kind of cool, man. Or finding their inner peace to help them move throughout this lifetime. But yeah, A plus plus, man. A plus plus, man.
So let me ask you this: what would be the tracks that you don't like from the Big Steppers?
That's what I'm saying, man. I from the big steppers, bro. I can't. I'm not skipping. I'm not skipping, man. I'm
Yeah.
not skipping at all, man. This is a straight 9. I'm listening straight through every time. Every time.
If I had to pick one, it would probably be United in Grief that I would skip, but everything else, uh,
That's a deep song, man. I'm telling you, man.
it
That's a deep.
is. It is. The only reason is because of how it sounds sonically.
But I say he switched up the flows twice on it, man. He switched up the flow and the sound to it twice, and how he switched it up. He stayed on one. The sound and the producing was the same to the song, but then he kept the same scheme and changed the beat, and then he kept that beat and then changed it again with another scheme to it. And I just feel like he put that shit together, man. He put it together.
For sure. So,
But then we jump into the next album, Mr. Morale, man. The more softer, um, lower part of the album, man. What did you like on the album?
so I liked Count Me Out, Silent Hill, and Auntie Diaries. Those are my
Mm,
top 3 tracks from this album.
mm,
Count Me Out was just a good track. I like the hook. Silent Hill, man, Kendrick and Kodak, man, it was crazy, man. It was good. I really enjoyed the hook more than I did the verses on that song, but it was all of it was good. The content, and then like you said before, Kodak isn't someone that I would think would mesh well with Kendrick, but it worked. The sound was for him. That song on Silent Hill was perfect. It was a perfect sound for him to be on with Kendrick. So that was a good marriage on that song. And then Auntie Diaries just pretty much um, the evolution in Kendrick's thinking. And I feel like we all have this journey, right? Because we were all at that point when we were saying the F word or we used derogatory terms heavily when speaking of the gay community. Whenever, if even if we was just playing or, you know, if we meant it in a certain way or, you know, however we wanted it to sound or however we were communicating that, we all used the term before and used terms. So the way that he was explaining about his cousin and his auntie in that song, um, the evolution that they had and the transitions that they made in their life, and a nugget in that song was him saying that he chose humanity over religion when it came to um, how he viewed those family members, and he said it was more peaceful in the family once everybody seemed to accept them. So, I feel like every family has to deal with that, right? Every family has members within their family who are gay or who may be in the closet or maybe want to do a transition or something like that. Most families have that. And most members within that family get pushback from other family members on coming out. So I feel like that's something that everybody can apply, that everybody can feel and really get behind it and use it in their life.
Definitely, bro. You definitely hit it on Auntie Diaries, man. He not just only talked about his auntie, but he also talked about another cousin who did transition from being uh male to a female. Dimitri to Maria. I think that was the names of his cousin. But yeah, man. My overall of this album, bro, I liked it. After diving too deep into it, I like Big Steppers over Mr. Morale. But don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on this, man. Like at first, before diving deep into it, I had Mr. Morale over Big Steppers because once I was realizing this is a therapy session, I'm like, yo, like this is deep because I shit was deep, man. My tracks I like on this album, I mean, for this part, Crown, Savior, the Interlude. I like Auntie Diaries and Mr. Morale. Like this album just spoke to like honestly, bro, and Savior, the song with Baby King, like him and his cousin, bro, they can spit, bro. And Baby King, bro, that man's like that, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. Baby King is like that, man. But yeah, man, this is a continuation of his therapy session, man. And he had a breakthrough and count me out, as he said, I like how he put a therapist over his I don't know if that's his real therapist or not, but put a therapist sound over that album, over that in that song and count me out. But it was deep, bro. And what I was referring to on the last album to this album and Savior, he was naming all these artists out there or people or figures, LeBron made you get his flowers. He's not your savior. Cole made you something. Cole made you something. He's not your savior. He spoke on a lot of different people out there, and try to make sure people understand these people are not your savior, man. But I was speaking to that with Drake. He didn't name Drake at all. Yo, it was kind of funny, but it's kind of funny.
Hey, Kendrick said he ain't done with it yet, bro. Maybe you gotta look in the mirror a little bit. Hey, I like that though. And look, that's evolution. Some of us still got that petty in us, no matter what, bro. I'm that type too, man. I still got some petty in me too, but I try to work on it. But you know what I'm saying? Everybody still got it. You say he ain't able to. It ain't just he ain't just able to just throw it or slide it under the
The throw
rug
it
like that. So I feel him,
right,
man. I feel Kendrick, bro. It's a little soon. Maybe when they like 50, you know what I'm saying? He'd be like, all right, Drake,
squash
cool.
it. Right.
Yeah,
But yeah, man. But I don't. Yeah. But yeah, man. This man Kendrick did his thing, man.
yeah.
Man, I liked it, bro. I like it. I was out of the tracks on this album, I would skip Mother I Sober, probably just Mother I Sober, bro.
Yeah, as it gets towards the end, Mr. Morale was pretty good to me. But in Mr. Morale and Mother I Sober, he's really talking about there. Those are two songs that really sound like similar to me. Though it has different nuggets in both, there he's still talking about his mom or women in his life and how they grew up and what affected them when they grew up. And then also he made several references towards rappers, hiding behind the tattoos when they've been abused too, and they dealing with stuff too, hiding behind the chains and tattoos and all of that. And he's saying, I see through all of that. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you can get an artist that fully explains things that happens within their childhood, like being touched or not knowing if him being touched was okay, and him revealing that his mother was abused or had to go through trauma or cousins abused or touched sexually. I mean, you can't do nothing but respect it and applaud it, man. So, hearing this second album from Kendrick and him giving real in depth personal like experiences is second to none, man. It's really appreciated, man, because everybody goes through it, and that's what he was saying in the album too. Like, celebrity doesn't match your integrity. I'm a good man. You know what I'm saying? So to really see this, it was good to see from Kendrick. It was
Yeah.
nice to have him reveal another side of it.
Yeah, man, and yeah, you spoke on it again, man. He opened up so much in this album, on the second part, man, not leaving anything out. It's just like wow, someone who are you in a black community. One thing, who are you in the black community, and you hold such a stature, and you letting all of this out. It's like this is deeper than deep, man. This is like whoever thought Kendrick went through all this as a child, man. We knew about the Compton and the game banging. We knew about that, man. But the inner thoughts of everything, he touched on it, man. And that's what I definitely caught on to when he first dropped this album. In my first few listenings through the album, I caught on to and that's what made me gravitate towards this part of this album. But yeah, man, I feel for Kendrick, bro. I feel for him, man. So, what are a few tracks that you? What are a few tracks that are skippable to you?
Um, the last Mother I Sober, Mirror, and then United in Grief. Really, that's about it for me.
Oh, just for the whole entire album, but the
Yeah,
last part of the album, just those last two songs.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 I think, like I said, don't sleep on United in Grief, man. Just don't sleep on that phone. Yeah, bro. Just don't sleep on it, man.
it's cool. It's cool. Like I said, the only thing I had with it was how it sounded sonically.
I feel you.
That was my only,
I feel you. Okay.
honestly.
Okay.
But this getting your premium producing premium product stamp of approval,
Yes,
man.
bro. Both of them, bro. Mr. Morale and the
Oh, you
Big
getting two
Seven.
stamps?
It's two stamps, bro.
Okay,
It's two albums, bro. This is two albums in one, bro. We've been missing this man for 5 years, bro. This is a stamp of approval, bro. Man, this is gonna be number one for a while. This is gonna happen, bro. It's gonna be number one. Someone drop a new album. They might be number one for that week, and then Kendrick's gonna top them the next week, bro. That's how it's gonna be, bro. Kendrick is
you
gonna
think so?
he's gonna ride just like damn ride. He's gonna ride this train all the way until hopefully a J. Cole Kendrick Lamar joint album happens sometime soon in the future. But yeah, man, double stamp of approval, bro. It's a producer
For
premium
sure,
product.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, it's getting my stamp too. Uh, this was insightful. I think people are going to look at this like they look at the what was the album with the Black of the Berry, the Sweeter Juice. Well, Black of the Berry. All right. What was the name of the album?
Um, to pimp the butterfly, to pimp a
To
butterfly.
Pimp a Butterfly. I can't believe I had a complete brain fart like that. But people don't look at this album like they look at To Pimp a Butterfly. Um, it's not something that I don't believe is going to chart well, but it is something that has nuggets and it's layered. And I really enjoyed To Pimp a Butterfly. A lot of people didn't enjoy To Pimp a Butterfly. I know some people that really enjoy this album, like you and I know some people that don't like it either. So I think it's gonna get that same reaction to Pimp a Butterfly. All time Kendrick albums, um, it's towards the bottom for me in all time Kendrick albums. So if I had to rate Kendrick's albums, I'd probably say Section 80. For me personally, Section 80, To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, and then I'll probably put Damn over this one, and then leave this one. Yeah. But
I think I'm learning your rap style. I think I am, man. Or your, how you flow in the music, in the music, bro. You like your rapping, you like your hip hop, you like your punchlines and things like that. But when things get a little personal, I don't think you really like tune into that as much. Nah,
that's not true though. We'll talk about this later, but that's not true because there's some albums out there that are really really personal that I really enjoy.
okay, I can't say that, but I would say this: Dan was his first personal album. And he said that Dan was his first true personal album by himself and things like that. And this was his next one. So if you said that, I feel like it's a possibility. Then that's what I see. That's what I see. But because you also feel the same way about Pusha T, a few songs on that album as well too that I caught track of. But
Make sure y'all listen to that too. Link will be up below
let's
or
say
above.
let's say but yeah, I would say this about this album real quick. This album had like sound pieces from Good Kid, Mad City, and also to Pimp a Butterfly, and also what was that other album? Not really Down. Really, I can say Good Kid, Mad City. It has some sound of Good Kid, Mad City up there, man. I want to say it was N95 and probably also Crown that had that she not She Will, but it was some song up there. I forgot the damn name of it. Yeah, I know how it is sometimes. But yeah, it has some similar sounds to his previous albums up there as well too. So yeah, you just gotta really listen to it though. You really do.
For sure, man. This has been fun. It's always fun, reviewing albums, and this is a pretty stacked year for hip hop, bro. It really is. I mean, we had Pusha T dropping, Benny, Conway. So many artists have dropped already. Joey Badass is supposed to drop, I believe, in June. So this is a pretty stacked year, man. I hope only more people start to release music later in the year.
Yeah, man, you had your boy Future up there as well too, man. Your boy Lil Durk. I'm cool
Hmm.
with Lil Durk, but
Hmm.
but you had your boy Future up there. I know you love some Future, man.
Hmm. That's petty. And we gotta talk about that too, man. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But yeah, we love the album, man. This is a Triple Crown podcast. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe with all your friends. Please sure to leave a comment as well if you like this. If you want to have us talk about other albums that are releasing this year that may not be as popular that you just want to see us talk about. But yeah, we all here for it, man. We all having a good time. We appreciate life. We appreciate you guys watching and doing what you've done so far. It's always refreshing to see people, even if it's just one person watching our video, man. It's reaching somebody. So we definitely appreciate that. And we are the Triple Crown Podcast. This is Kendrick Lamar, album review, Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers, and we are